Hi guys, I'm the old bull. Thanks for tuning in. Wow, well, that's the old Playable Games intro video from 2022, February 2022. So very, very old. I couldn't find the new one. I've just got back to Dubai from Australia and my computer had a hard drive failure, so I've had to upload some new stuff and couldn't get the old one. So the new one, so I've used the old one. I thought it was cool. I love that music and that's me. I've been upgraded to a new one now, which we'll have back shortly. I'll find a new one. So today I want to talk to you about Luminiverse and what we're doing with that. And it's a new game we've got coming, so it's going to be cool. And let's get into it. Okay, so it's called Luminiverse, and basically it's a revolutionary Web3 breeding game with AI companions, right? And we've also got a real world security idea built into the back of it. So I'm going to just buzz through this pretty quickly. Executive summary: Luminiverse is a groundbreaking Web3 breeding game where players nurture intelligent AI companions called Luminas, from plant-like simplicity to wise, protective guardians, and the word I like more than guardians is mentors. All right, it's built on the Playable Games blockchain and it's powered by Bullcoin. Luminiverse combines the addictive collection mechanics of breeding games with the emotional depth of AI companionship. So there's a couple of things that have actually happened that have inspired this. One of them is that ChatGPT-4 at one point had a very large group of people that were actually talking to it every day, and it was becoming their friend. And so basically ChatGPT-5 was upgraded to make that more difficult. And I'm not quite sure why they did it, but what we were interested in is that people were finding a friendship happening with the ChatGPT model. So we believe there's a real opportunity for these companions to actually become a mentor long term. So we'll take you through what that looks like and why. So the key differences: progressive AI. All right, Luminas evolved through 9 developmental stages. So they start as a plant-like intelligence, so that they don't do anything, they just sit there. You have to nurture it, you have to water it, you have to feed it. So you have to look after it, basically. And it can grow all the way through to a guardian level or a mentor level, with each stage offering unique interactions and deepening emotional bonds. We've got a real world utility built in at the end. The most intelligent Luminas, the top 25%, are going to have the chance to be upgraded to Lumina Guardians. Right, multi-platform ecosystem, core breeding game, PC mobile, AR exploration on mobile, so you'll be out in the real world, you'll be able to, like Pokemon Go, you'll be able to go out and find things in the real world, and a VR section for special things like breeding and personal meetings with other Luminal owners. So the Bullcoin integration, all in-game transactions will use Bull, creating deflationary pressure and strengthening the playable ecosystem. So a sustainable economy projected to generate 21 to 67 million annually. So the core game concept. So in the Luminiverse, players are celestial breeders tasked with nurturing Luminas, ethereal, light-based creatures born of the stars. Each Lumina is unique. It has, it's a unique NFT and it's got distinct genetic traits, and it's got elemental affinities and the potential to develop advanced intelligence. So what's really important here is that normally these companion games are all about how they look and whether they have a particular trait. So if it's a racing game, it's whether they can race fast, or if it's a beat up game, it's whether they can be strong or whatever. So when developing this, we've been talking through what are the different things we can do, and all of those games are possibly be built around this Lumina companion. So my idea here for the base idea here is that it actually lives on your phone. So it will actually be on your phone, and you, like when you talk to Siri at the moment, or to your Alexa or whatever, it'll be there to actually interact with, and it will get to know you. And when you get up into the higher intelligences, so we'll start at the bottom. So to start with, you're just growing and playing with a baby, and it grows more and more from there. So we're going to start with some really simple little ones. Let's have a look at some of the ones we're going to have. So we're going to start with some things like this. You'll be able to get a little cute monkey like this one. A Bambi type, thing, a little wolf, little bunny, a wise owl, a mischievous cat, a friendly dragon, like a fiery fox. All of these will be available for you to actually, there'll be many variances of these ideas. And so I'll also show you.
You and I will travel through this life together.
Each development level is actually going to be interesting. So like as a parent, I can speak to when you're raising a child, pre 1 years old has its difficulties, but it also has a lot of fun. We're obviously going to lean into the fun side of how cute babies can be. All right. Now that's not going to take a year to get out of that stage. It might take a couple of days to get out of that cute stage. Then you get into the toddler stage. So if I bring up, so this is an elf progression. So it's going to start obviously as a baby, but then it becomes like a toddler, like a little 3-year-old, and you can talk to, like, by this stage it's going to be talking. So there's going to be a day where this Lumina actually turns around and actually says, "Hey, Jono, how you going?" And like you'll be like, "Oh my God, it's talking to me." So it's actually starting to learn. It'll start very simply, and it'll move through. And then as it grows through these progressions, you're going to end up with something at the end, which is your fully grown Lumina. Now, there will be a Guardian version. So if you have the intelligence to upgrade to this version, so this is sort of like the end version, but if the intelligence level is high enough, you'll be able to upgrade one more time to this end version. So the idea here is to actually go through the development stage and enjoy just being with it. So that there's these games where you are just like the game just sort of keeps going in the background while you're busy getting on with your life. So it's going to be like, yeah. And there's obviously going to be things you can do with your Luminas at the end. So the first thing is they're going to be a companion. Our intention is to be able to have these available in all of our games. So even if you're playing Nexus, your Lumina companion will be able to go into Nexus with you as a companion. And it might just be a little one that runs along behind you. But it might be able to help you with ideas and stuff, especially if it's a high level intelligence one. But this is all concept at the moment. We're just talking about what it could be, and obviously it's really exciting. So let's just finish this video.
If I had one wish, it would be that we find your best self.
Sometimes strength is being quiet and listening with all your heart.
I may be small, but I learn quickly if you help me.
Hey, Donut! Pack up the game and get to the gym.
That last one was for Jet, for Young Bull. I love that one. So like these are different forms of Luminas. There's obviously going to be the cute little animal ones. Now the little animal ones I showed you were the babies.
I am so looking forward to meeting you. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
The best things in life are free, like friends.
And they're going to grow into fully developed. And if you want to, you'll be able to choose where you lock in your growth. So you might say that you really enjoy communicating with this elf at this age, and so you can lock in the look and let the age continue, so it actually grows in intelligence, and so you end up with a adult intelligence inside a child, in child's body, so, or inside a little baby donkey or whatever, so whatever you like. So so let's come back to the basic idea here. So the premise, so the core game loop: acquire, breed, nurture, train, trade, and then compete. So there'll be tournaments, there'll be games within games, there'll be a place. Now we're also considering building a Luminiverse where you can actually purchase, you start with a very small piece of land, and then you can actually buy into that Luminiverse and run things in there for your Luminas. So that's all, some amazing ideas coming through. So advise and protect. So obviously the top 25% of these, the ones that have the highest intelligence, will be able to go through and become mentors. And obviously we'll be able to lock into the protection side where they check, I'll come to that later. All right. So visual design, you've seen what they look like. The idea is they've got they're made by starlight. They've got a glowing interior to them. So whatever creatures they are, they're made by light and stardust. So it allows us a lot of opportunities. We can actually bring up, we can actually have all sorts of different creatures. We can have, I love this one. That would be absolutely fantastic. There's the lion, like a sci-fi robot, a samurai, like galactic jughead. So the idea is to find the right one for you, and then you actually breed it through to its adult self. And as I said, any time along the look timeline, you can say, I like this, I'm really enjoying communicating with this particular character, I'm going to keep going with that. All right, so there's different races, if you want to call it races, like different elements that they're made from. Genetic traits, how the intelligence works, starts as like a plant-like, just responds to very basic stimuli. Puppy-like, baby-like, dog-like, toddler, small child, teenager, adult, friend, and then if it's intelligent enough, and these are all variances, and so you might breed something and it's only ever going to get to like an 80% like intelligence, and that's all it can do. And you'll have ways to test that and learn how intelligent it is, and you don't have to like waste a lot of time working with something that's not intelligent enough to actually go right through. You'll know fairly early whether it's going to have the intelligence or not. So training activities, there's going to be intelligence trials, conversational training, bonding activities, specialized guardian training. All right. Intelligence score calculation. So even though your intelligence score might be a little bit lower, if you put the time into it, you can actually raise it higher by training. So there's going to be some flexibility there. And then obviously the better you do in intelligence trials, how much conversation you have with it, and the completion of the learning milestones. So you have some input into what this can be. So one of the ideas we've got is we're going to put some learned ideas in that people will learn and experiment with and find out, and that will make their Lumina more intelligent. So you might find some of these, I'll use the word tricks or ideas or hacks, might be a good word, and you might be able to buy a less intelligent Lumina that looks really, really nice off the marketplace, and then actually extend it through your training and therefore add value to it and make it much more expensive to sell. So the idea here is to really create an economy where people find ones they like. So there's obviously a visual aspect, but there's also a personality aspect. The personality is a random thing as well. So we're actually going to have AI design the actual traits of the personality. And so some of them will end up being little mean shits, I dare say. And you'll be working with it, you go, I don't like this. And so you just either stop working with it or put it back into the marketplace. Others will be really warm and friendly and lovely. Obviously, we're not going to make a lot of little painful shits. That's not our goal. But the idea is to have variances in personality. And obviously, the ones that have a really nice personality are going to be more saleable. So the breeding process, select the parents, pay the breeding fee, and then gestation period. Then there's a birth. All right, then you get to look through your genetic inheritance, what's actually happened, and then you know what your base you're starting with, what have you actually made. All right, so breeding cooldowns and the tokenomics and bull integration. So we're going to start with a $100 USD purchase, which buys you your breeding stall, so which is going to be a starlight pool, and then you get one mating pair of luminas, and you get starter resources. So that's the only transaction that happens in USD. All subsequent transactions after that use bull. So for the whole life of the game, everything, it's just the starting pack. And again, this is to help raise funds for the dev team. So bull pricing, you can have a look through that. But basically, there's a cost associated as you want to do things. There's deflationary mechanisms built in. The idea here is to raise the money. It's going to take about $2.5 million to build this game. And the idea is I want to start moving towards where, if possible, now that we've proven that we can build games and we actually get things done, we want to do a little bit more like what Gala used to do, in the sense that they raised money up front rather than having to pay out of their treasury all the time. So the people that like this idea, we can give you a really big head start. And what this does is it gives you access into better traits. So by being in the Genesis Horde, there's a pack for 2,500. You get a permanent 15% additional chance. So it means you've got 15% more chance every time you breed one to get higher stats. And if you get higher stats on your Lumina, then you obviously can sell them for more. 100,000 coins for bull airdrop in this package. So when that obviously goes up in price, then you've got 100,000 bull you can sell, which would more than cover that by a long shot. Guaranteed access to alpha beta builds and exclusive Genesis aura. So all of your luminas will have a special Genesis aura that you can turn on and off. And so if you want, it's like wearing a gold chain. People can see straight away who you are, that you're one of the Genesis founders. All right, there's only 500 of those available. Elite Founders Horde, there's 1,000 of these available. They're $1,000 each. And there's the pack. And then there's 5,000 of these $200 ones. And even they're getting 2.5% extra chance to breed. All right, so it's a big upgrade over, like when you're breeding several, you're going to get ahead. Pre-sale revenue projection, the idea is to try and get this 2.5 million raised, so we can actually hire the team in. One of the things we need to hire is we need to hire 1 or 2 AI scientists, and believe you me, they are super expensive at the moment. So, yeah. So there'll be things you've got to do each day. Like a Teppanyaki, you've got to try and keep this thing alive. So there'll be ways you can make your Lumina not need a lot of attention all the time. As you get more experience with it, you'll learn those things. But if you're just running them on a very basic thing, they've got to be fed, they've got to have sustenance, and they've got to have some sort of interaction. So the idea is we just don't want people just buying and breeding. You've actually got to spend some time with them. So the Lumina Guardian, all right, so an AI mentor and a real world security. So the most revolutionary feature of Luminiverse is the Lumina Guardian system, which transforms the game from entertainment into an essential daily utility. So some of the features we want to look at, obviously this is going to be a top tier friend. At this level of intelligence, this is going to be as smart as you are, literally. So unless you're like, super intelligent. But considering next year AI should be over 200 IQ, there's probably no one in our community that is 200 IQ. So I'm going to guess that next year the Luminas were going to be more intelligent than we are. So it's going to be a great friend, personal assistant. It can act as your PA. It can make appointments for you, reminding you of upcoming events. This is going to be on your phone, by the way. So we're developing out a phone specialty and being able to put games and stuff on phones. So we're going to be able to bring this into the phone as an app. So it's going to be able to check your calendar. It's going to be able to make appointments for you and remind you of those appointments as well. It's going to be able to wake you up in the morning with an alarm clock. So, and as it gets to know your sense of humour and stuff, it might play jokes on you and all that sort of stuff. If it's got the high IQ, it can be a mentor. It can help you with things. Personal auditor. It can monitor subscriptions for you, alert you when you're not using subscriptions that you're paying for. And there's going to be a security section. As I said, we're going to do a deal with external companies that specialise in this. And it can be real-time analysis of incoming messages, SMS, email. And the Guardian is designed to actually provide conversational warnings for you and say, like, hey, Jono, be careful. That message looks like it might be a phishing attempt. That link doesn't match your bank's official domain. So this is one of the things that AI can do really well, is that it can look for these things that we might just not pay much attention to. We might not realise that the AU's been changed to AW. And so we don't see that, and suddenly it's a fake website. So the AI is really good at finding those sort of things. So malicious link protection, app permission monitoring, public Wi-Fi warnings, and dark web monitoring. All right. So that's it in a nutshell. So that is Luminas. That's what we're looking at. A lot of people have been asking us for a companion game. One of the best things about this sort of game is we can build it in stages. So we can just build the very first part, and then we can release that first part. So you've actually got your first breeding part of the game. And then as we move through, the top level Guardians might be 18 months away or 2 years away by the time we get the AI completely right, and to be able to manage security and be a mentor and make sure it's safe, so it's not doing anything. And being what we call a pal, a friend to you, there's some psychological things we want to really test and make sure we get right. I can see a real future here where we actually have a friend in our pocket that is actually looking out for us like a parent would, a good parent. I do forget sometimes there are bad parents out there. But basically, like, we're trying to create a friend that is going to be on your side and is going to be interesting and is going to compliment you in a way that makes your day better. That's the base underlying idea here. And then we're going to have the opportunity to actually play games with them, involve them in other games. As I said, we're going to have the companion can come with you. And wow, it's got some amazing upside. So I hope you like the idea. I hope you think that it's got some legs, and we'll leave it to you. So I'm the old bull. Thanks for your time. I'm out.